Um, Decided one of the more important topics that I want to talk about, and one that's really scary for me personally, kind of reflecting on, um, the actual relationships that I have, and the only ones I really have to speak of that, I still currently engage with. I've had relationships in the past, but they just, they're former. Um, I could pick up the phone and reestablish them, but the point is that basically these are expired relationships, but I do have a couple active ones. And they're the same ones that I know everybody can probably relate to, hopefully, because it's been the only thing I've had, and I've appreciated them. But it's family. And I have kind of told one brother who can actually see all my messages, and my other brother I told about, I finally connected to him, and I have been not doing that, and it felt so good to do it that I'm realizing I probably need to do it with all my family now, since I'm still only a few days into this process. That is what a healthy person would do. That's what they need to do, is to reach out to the few people you really have, and have these conversations that I'm putting out to no one, but and have them with the people that want to hear them most. And I do really believe that these things that I am saying are, well, one, they're super therapeutic for me, so that's good enough for now. But I do really think that somebody could be helped by this, to just see somebody go through what I'm hopefully going to have the balls to go through. Um, and one of the things I need to make some amends with is my family connections. I don't know how much I'm going to go into detail, but I'll stay vague enough that I'm not doxing them, because I do think that I need to be respectful of my family, if ever I do become, somewhat known. I just don't want to be, I want to be respectful about the stories I'm telling about them in case, someone ever makes the connection. I think that would be a good thing to do as a human being. But, I have also kept most of what I'm saying to you guys private from, of course, I don't have personal friends. My coworkers don't really know me. They don't know I'm a virgin, and don't have really friends. They probably understand it, but it's not like explicitly talked about. The fact that this guy never comes to the party. You know what I mean? So anyway, but I've always been in a leadership position too. So not that many people expected it, but there were a couple people that kind of expected to see that happening in, a person like mine's life. And luckily, nobody really ever made too much fuss over the fact that I didn't have like a girlfriend or a wife in the military, and whatever. It wasn't like made a big deal, but it is kind of an expectation that you get along, or you get on with that type of stuff, right? And I just really haven't. Like I said, I've never really grown up. But I want to kind of talk about family, since I know pretty much everybody can relate to it, and I would say I have been neglectful of my family. Um, and it's just kind of a tragedy to have missed out on so much time that I could have spent together, and could have been on the phone, and could have been texting or calling, or just every once in a while connecting with them. And they're the ones that you have no say in. These are God's connections to you. They must be important. I don't think He would have given you a family if they weren't meant to build you in some way. And I just feel like, other than my brother, I really am. I've kept everybody at the arm's distance, and even my brother's a few inches away, but like, most people are at at least arm's distance. If not, dude, I don't even let them in the room. You know what I mean? And my family, I've still kind of done this because I've just been ashamed of myself for, just I kind of loosely went into it, is like whenever I would come home from these times when I go to school out of state. Like most of my family's in this state, and I'm almost never in this state. I've spent, if I can count, on like, I can count probably within the terms of 2 or 3 months the amount of time I've spent with my family over like the last 2 years. Something like that, right? It's like not a lot of time percentage wise. It's probably like, you know, I haven't calculated, but it's not much. It's very insubstantial. Um, and even not connecting with them a whole lot, like just telephonically, and over whatever other, through the phone, right? I don't, these relationships, they're just not, they're not good. They're not like the things they ought to be, you know. And when I was talking to my brother, I kind of told him I was envious of him and my other brother, who he has a very close relationship with. They're really close, and it's a beautiful connection, brotherly love. Um, they have it. I feel like I have it really closely with my other brother, but there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to give the love I have to all of them, fully, and let them know me, like I'm trying to do and just put out here is like, could somebody actually like me? And I already know the answer is yes because my family loves me. I've just been afraid to show it to them, and what I'm kind of waking up to is that I need to make some phone calls, and at least start there. And I've had this vision of talking to my mom, who I love my mom so much. I haven't really mentioned her yet, but I love my mom a lot. I'm a mama's boy for sure. If we're gonna be honest, I guess. But I'm a really bad son because I've just not connected, and my mother's felt that. I can tell that she's felt it, and this is kind of why I feel ashamed about it. Is that it just hurt her to watch me go through it. I think because she knows that there was more I could have been getting. That I'm. Every mother loves their children, and thinks that they're the best thing ever. I'm sure, but I'm sure it was painful for her to watch me kind of put myself through it, and it was completely optional. I could have. It's hard to. It was just nobody could have told me. Nobody could have taught me this except for myself, and I really haven't learned it yet. I still have a lot to do. I still don't have a friend, but what I'm seeing now is that I just need to talk to my family and appreciate them more. And I hope that I'll have the courage to kind of. I had a beautiful vision of, my mother listening to these, and how, because she still knows me, right? She'll some of this stuff's going to be new and kind of scary for her to know that that's what her son is. That he does drugs now, and eventually I'm going to hope that I just have that conversation with her. You know what I mean? And tell her about all the things that I'm feeling, and I think that she'll be relieved. When she finally hears this. I think in a lot of ways, of course there's some concerns about what's going on right now, but I think ultimately she's going to feel relieved because it'll carry through in my voice that I really feel very good about this, despite the, okay, on paper, I'm a guy who just lost his job and is now a drug, using person, and he's kind of like, on paper this stuff doesn't look good, but the feeling I have inside and the vision that I have for what could happen is so beautiful, and if I was to let them be a part of it, it's just such a better idea than not them having them not be a part of it. And I think that's what part of the message that I've been talking about, and hopefully what people have been taking away from this is that you choose your future by walking it yourself. And so if I have a vision of a future that's one way, where I'm let's just say a successful social media influencer, and I'm able to sustain my life by just talking to you guys about the stuff I randomly think about, and that's good enough for people to watch, and I get whatever the fucking little ad rev. I don't know. However this shit actually works, I don't really haven't thought too much about it, other than that you can do it. If that's good enough to sustain my life, then that would be so fun. I can't even imagine it. Like, I'm just thinking about how happy I would be to just kind of ramble about shit that I'm interested in, and I see a lot of people doing it, and they're no different than me, and I just think it's such a fun idea. But there are anyway. But the point is that the vision that I have is if I do that, and my mother is able to experience it with me, even though she's gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck's wrong with my kid?" But you know what I mean. But other than that, like, if it's successful, like, fuck it. What's it matter? I still will love her greatly, and I'm sure she'll still love me greatly. And if I end up being successful while doing that, I'm sure she'll be even prouder, right? If I fail, whatever, I was failing anyway, basically, but at least I tried something. I guess I think that's what she would take away from it. And the fact that I'm so scared to call her right now and just kind of go through that with her, you know what I mean? I want to do it, and I'm probably going to, but I want you to know that you're probably struggling with a similar idea. Um, and if it's related to your family, you really should just, they're the only ones you got. And, I'm sure that you guys are going to hear what happens next, and that hopefully will be an interesting thing to watch. And it's a positive, a guy finally decides to wake up and live his life and it works out for him. I think that would be fun to watch, but the reverse would still be an interesting thought experiment that's maybe worth taking some information away from. But anyway, hopefully you guys are going to see the good ending of this story. And, you know what I mean, conceptually. But anyway, I love my family so much, and I want to be able to also know them and not just know everybody but them, because, right now they're real and this is a dream and everything else is fake, and dreams are comforting, and I'm trying to find the comfort in the dream. But the only way to move towards reality is to walk. So I'm trying to do that, and I'm going to try and make it up with my family, because I think that is a core thing that supports you. And I have needed their support. I love them for the support they have given me, and I hope that I can give it back to them now.